writing aside, I mean, there's a lot that went into Secret Invasion. We were talking about living up to the hype and the job that Marvel did hyping it. To me, although not yet confirmed as a stunt, although I get eerie silence from all the Marvel editors that I write to about it. The Marvel Boy blog that was up the past few months, a supposed Marvel employee or intern who talked about how great it was working at Marvel in the beginning and saying all about, you know, the goings-on behind the scene until he turns into a disgruntled employee and really starts ripping on what's going on. Really ripping on Bendis, too. In fact, saying a lot of stuff that I've heard you say.
Yeah, and I was enjoying that first run of Marvel Boy blogs. I had a nice big grin on my face. I'm like, finally, see, it's not just me. It's not just me. But, and then...
for a while there, I thought it was you. I thought somehow you had made it into the hallowed halls.
I wish. It would have been more scathing. But the first run of Marvel Boy blogs were good. And then Marvel Boy gets banned from the Bendis forums and is gone for a while. And then he appears again on the Bendis forums underneath his same name, except it's the obligatory Marvel Boy 2 Electric Boogaloo, laid out, by the way. And then, yeah, then I think it's not him anymore.
You think he was co-opted, or do you think that...
I think that somebody else is doing it. Yeah.
Interesting.
I really do, because it lacks the bite that it had, and then it's planning too much information. I mean, they completely lost me with it when, like, oh, Joe Quesada is getting fired, you know, in 2 weeks, and I'm like, all right, this is all fake now, obviously, because though that would be such a nice thing to see Joe Quesada leave Marvel Comics. I know that's not going to happen for a very long time, unfortunately. And for them to come out and say that, I'm like, all right, that's just bullshit right there.
Yeah, no, a lot of people saw that was the tipping point, that when you start talking about Joe Quesada getting fired, it can't be real. No. It's not real. And it's just basically them playing with us. And I'd like to say, if it is someone at Marvel, you know, basically screwing with people's heads, then, you know, I can see the thought behind that type of viral marketing, but that I don't know, that's kind of pushing it for me. There's a trust factor there that you have with your fans that you're kind of like tampering with, and I'm not sure I really go for that. New Avengers, we said last time, New Avengers reads like Alias, Heroes for Hire. I make a comparison in my column. It's almost the Defenders too. When you have Doctor Strange in there for so long. That's
true.
You know, and then Mighty Avengers reads like The Avengers. All I know right now is I cannot wait for when they do bring Steve Rogers back. We all know Steve Rogers is coming back.
And they kind of hinted at it in the last issue of Captain America.
He's coming back. That whole thing where his body was just like decomposing. I'm telling you right now, 3 letters, 3 words. Life model decoy. That's what the Steve Rogers that was assassinated, that's what it was.
Really?
A life model decoy, an LMD. Watch. Brubaker, I got it. And but anyway, I really enjoyed Avengers. Now, did you read Mighty Avengers? Did you read this at all?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. What did you think, again, spoiler, what did you think of them taking down Dr. Doom?
I don't know.
I mean, that's Bendis taking the big toys in the Marvel Universe and basically doing whatever he wants with them, which to me I think is pretty, I don't know, you're giving one guy a lot of power.
Yeah, and I mean, I think that's what it is, and like, aren't they making a big deal of it? He's busting out now in Secret Invasion.
Like,
he was in prison, so he's already out. So it really doesn't really fucking make a difference because, this book has been running late, also, so they're playing catch up. So the storylines are a little like an issue or two behind of where they're supposed to be. But between reading this I mean, when it was supposed to come out, it should probably come out, like, what, 3 months ago, realistically? And Dr. Doom would have been in jail a little bit that much longer, at least in our time span, in our frame of minds. Right. But then to have this come out 2 weeks ago and then he bust out already, that's really...
Right. I guess you're right there. You're right.
And who? I mean, did they actually say that it was Dr. Doom? Because there's talk that Wonder Man was like saying, "Oh, it was a Doom bot."
A Doom bot. Well, no,
because they really don't even show his face. They show his eye when they ripped his mask off in Tony Stark.
I got from it that it was the actual Doom, though, not a Doom bot. So, hey, great way of dropping a really big dramatic point there. I guess right there, just fumbling it because your artist can't get the book out on time. Although Bagley, I gotta say, Bagley's been doing some kick-ass stuff on this book. And my last point, it's not this issue, but Mighty Avengers number 11, not number 11, number 10, was made to look like one of those books that, well, I remember reading back in the 70s. Mm-hmm. And if you weren't my age, or a little older than you, you didn't get it.
Right.
You didn't get it, which just goes to show how these books slant towards older readers, and it's just too bad because if we don't get, if comics don't get younger readers into the fold, and I mean in big numbers right now, and I don't know how with books like Harry Potter and Chronicles of Narnia and the Spiderwick and all those things, that they can't get more kids to read comics. As much as I enjoy Secret Invasion and Mighty Avengers and a lot of the Marvel stuff and all the DC stuff, they're writing to older readers, and I think they need to fix that.
And apparently, I mean, this Secret Invasion thing has been going on for, well, they're supposed to have come up with the idea 3 years ago, which Marvel's editorial does not think 3 years in advance. I'm sorry, I don't care who the fuck is working at Marvel, but Marvel never does that. They think like 6 months in advance.
Right.
But I mean,
hence
right
the
there,
unmasking of Spider-Man.
Yeah, and right off the bat, they're telling you after you read this that there's 3 years worth of stories that lead into this. So if you're a brand new reader getting into this, Joe Quesada's Cup of Joe, which is nothing but advertisements for every major storyline that leads into Secret Invasion, that you should go out and buy to get. I mean, you don't have to buy them. They tell you don't have to buy them to enjoy this, but you'd get more appreciation of the story, and it would mean more to you if you went out and spent the $20 on each one of these paperbacks so you can get caught up. And really, to have to enjoy this miniseries to the fullest, I don't want to have read 3 years worth of shitty comics. Okay? This is obviously a jumping on point, like Civil War was, for new readers. Obviously, Marvel has kept some of those readers since Civil War that are coming into this. But now they're telling the people, you get on the Civil War, you still, you're still too late in the game. We started 2 years before that.
Yeah, House of M and Secret War and all those things.
House of Mediocrity. But I don't like to be told that I need to read 3 years worth of stuff to get full enjoyment out of this book. That's like a slap in the face right there, that I need to go out and spend hundreds of dollars on backstories so I can get the whole gist of Secret Invasion.
It just hit me too. It's a $3.99 book.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
And how much of it is just reprints?
Well, there were not too bad, not as bad as other stuff. I mean, there was more pages of art, but yeah, you get like a 4-page Cup of Joe. You get the Secret Invasion checklist,
right?
Which, for those of you who have not, and since I'm a complete asshole and like to do stuff like this, all this stuff for the first 3 months will cost you over $100 retail.
Chihuahua.
Yeah. And that's just for the first 3 months. This is an 8-month story arc.
Wow.
First 3 months, over a little bit over $100 that you're going to pay to get the full story of Secret Invasion.
All right. Well, I got to say, I'm with that kind of perspective on it, and I reading it and going in thinking, as has been said time and again, that Secret Invasion was going to be a complete story in and of itself. It's obviously not going that way.
No.
So we're going to close the book on Secret Invasion and Bendis for now and move on to other things. So join us back in the next segment.